G'day everybody, thanks for joining us today. This is the Pedal Picasso. Thank you for clicking on that thumbnail and spending some time with us. This is the Carbon Copy Deluxe. Now I know these are pretty old pedals, but there's a lot of super delays out there and a lot of analog delays, and I just think that these ones sound great. Now I just want to thank Jim Dunlop and the Jim Dunlop family of companies, including MXR, for sending this over for us to have a look at. We really appreciate it. Now, there's a few different versions of this. There's a video on our channel already with all three different versions of this if you want to go check it out. There is a bright one which I haven't got my hands on yet, but the little mini one does have a bright switch, so it does help. Anyway, so what I'm going to do today is just show you through the features of it. I'm going to show you what you can do with an expression pedal plugged in. I'm going to show you what it sounds like with some dirt in front, and show you what it sounds like with some going into a dirty amp. So anyway, I'm using the Boss Katana Artist Mark II behind me. There's a nice little bit of reverb in there because that's just how I roll. And I've rediscovered my Gretsch baritone, so you're all getting baritone videos for the next week or so until I get sick of it again. It's a great guitar. Apparently it started its life out as a bass, but anyway. So, I've got the mix up so you can hear it all. I'm going to leave the mix up there pretty much for the rest of the video. So the regen knob just gives you either one repeat or it will self-oscillate if you've got it all the way up. Which is pretty cool. Now, in terms of speed, it goes so slow you can barely hear it. But if you turn the regen up, you know it's actually happening because it self-oscillates very quickly and very loudly. Which is pretty awesome. Then, all the way out, gives you about a second and a half, I suppose, second. Yeah, that's as much as we can get out of it. Now, it does have tap tempo as well. But the actual delay knob, which is pretty much the time knob, will override your tap tempo. Right, so the next two knobs across are for the modulation. You can turn the modulation on by pushing this little button here. And it does go from very, very modulated to virtually nothing. Then the speed of the modulation goes very fast as well. You can hear how fast it goes. I actually like it nice and slow and just sort of subtle. So yeah, the modulation adds in like a nice sort of tape warble sort of sound, which is pretty cool. I'll turn that off for the time being. Now, this has got its bright switch. The mini one has a little bright toggle on the side. You need a pen to get in and hit the switch. My fingers are way too big to get in there and hit the switch, but... So what the bright switch does is it takes it from being more of a muffled tape degradation sort of analog delay. You can hear the repeats are much darker than the guitar. What this does is it makes the repeats much brighter and you lose a lot more bottom end instead. Which is totally awesome because that sort of gives you two different sort of sound palettes. I find that if with the bright switch on, it does get in the way a bit more. Where if you've got the bright switch off and you just got your normal darker delays, it doesn't get in the way of your actual guitar as much. But I do have the mix pretty high at the moment for the purposes of this demo video. Right. The last thing on the top of the pedal here that I haven't showed you yet is the different tape divisions. So there is a dotted crotchet, a triplet, and a semiquaver. So if you're tapping, so if you're using the tap tempo, you can actually sort of flick between different divisions as well. So yeah, that's pretty handy. All right, now, this still has another trick up its sleeve, which is you can put an expression pedal in it and toggle between two different settings. So I'm going to put it in the heel position. And I'm going to set this how I want it. So you can barely hear it. I'm going to put it in the toe position and turn everything up. Then I should be able to just toggle between them. Which is super awesome. So if you've got a song where you need heaps of delay or little delay or whatever, but you can also set it up to just bring your mix in and out, which is how I would set it up. So I'll do that. So I've got no mix. That's pretty much how everyone would use it, I reckon, but that's certainly how I would use it, just to bring the mix of the level of the delays up. So that's an awesome feature to have. Now, bear in mind, when you turn your pedal board off and pack up for the night and come back to your gig the next night, that settings does disappear. You do have to set that up again every time. There's no way to save that. Now, let's put some dirt into the front of it. I've got the Protein in front of me. I'm using the Noble's side. Turn the mix up a bit. Loves it. Handles the dirt into it just fine. Now I'm going to punch it into a dirty channel. Now I'm on a dirty channel on the katana. Now the reason I'm doing this is because most of us on our pedal boards have our dirt in front of our delay, and a lot of us will be running into an amp. So if you're using a dirty amp like Eddie Van Halen and then running your clean delays into your dirty amp, this is how it'll sound. I think it's pretty important to sort of show you both. And then, of course, it wouldn't be a proper demo if I didn't show you what I said, like with dirt in the front and then going into a dirty amp. So this is dirt in front of the delay and then the delay going into a dirty amp as well. I mean, I know that baritone is not really supposed to be used for lead stuff. That is an epic sound. There you go, dirt into delay into dirt. So anyway, there you go. This is the MXR carbon copy. It's an incredibly flexible analog delay with full digital control over whatever you're doing to it. The ability to be able to adjust on the fly with an expression pedal between two settings is pretty awesome. Mind you, you do have to reset that up every time you turn the pedal on and off. And believe it or not, you can actually chuck a 9-volt battery in the back of this thing as well, but I imagine it would use heaps of power, so I wouldn't recommend it. But anyway, there you go. Thanks, Jim Dunlop and MXR, for sending us this pedal, and thank you for tuning in. If you've got this far, you may as well give us a like and a subscribe. It's absolutely free to you, but it helps the channel out a lot, so thank you. I hope you got something out of that. I certainly did, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.